Hi everybody and welcome back to another cEDH TV gameplay match.
So most jokingly said, Pontus, you can play tymna dargo. And I will take him at the word because I want to play tymna dargo, so I'm playing tymna dargo. It's a Mardu Turbonos layered combo stuff with dargo, and yeah, it'll be fun.
Alright, that's not exactly what I said, Pontus, but sure, you can play tymna dargo, he's just finding an excuse to do it. I'm playing Sisay though, my favorite commander. Dihada, Teferi, we're playing Emil, Dockside, a typical Sisay combo package. We're adding Agada Salt's Cauldron, and the big win con is the enchantment, Cultist of the Absolute. Otherwise, we have some typical Sisay value engines and stacks pieces, playing that toolbox game.
It's Sheldon Memory Week for me, as I played earlier this week. I played his Najeela build in honor and such because of his passing away. We're going to miss him. And yeah, it's a typical Najeela list we've got here. All kinds of ways to get infinite combat steps, and we've got some interaction. And hopefully this game, we get to a turn 2 or a turn 3.
Okay, today I am playing Blue Farm. It is the standard bluiest Blue Farm deck you could Blue Farm, and is, of course, the best deck in the format, so they say. Okay, this is our starting 7, and almost good. Although we could, if this wasn't a plateau, this would be okay, but it's not. Okay, this gets us lots of fast mana. We can use our Mox Opal right away. Yeah, let's go with it. Why not?
This hand is actually quite good. So we have a Carpet of Flowers, and then we have a Laviniasaurus Renegade, Mox Diamond. So we have some kind of fast establishment. Early Lavinia is really good because it really hurts those fast mana rock developments, on so to say, and it prevents people from ad-nauseing early in the game, sacrificing our lands for weird things. So yeah, she is good early. We also have a Wishclaw Talisman here, so I think we're gonna keep this hand, put Lavinia into play, slow down the game, try to get Sisay into play, somewhere down the line, slam Wishclaw, send it away, grab a Dockside and win the game. What can go wrong?
First 7, not bad. We've got Carpet of Flowers and Bayou, so we could easily, get some things. I'm thinking that because we may have blue again, especially with Blue Farm and above us, we may be able to get a few things going. This is an interesting card to interdict. I've actually never played this card, so counter target artifact, creature, or enchantment, or land ability requiring an activation cost, which may work against some of the faster decks and what they're trying to do. So I don't know. I haven't kept my first 7 in a little while, but I'm going to go for it. I think we've got enough with interaction and to get Najeela out to maybe just go for some beatdown strategies and things like that. But who knows? I could be out turboed. Go ahead, Pontus.
Let's look at the starting 7. This hand has no acceleration, so we're not going to get anywhere. So we're moving on this. We have mana in this hand, but it's like a turn 2 ritual into turn 3 Tymna or Wheel of Misfortune. That's just too slow. So go to 6. Our deck doesn't seem to like us. We get mana or no mana. So yeah, no lands doesn't really work. Go to 5. I wish this wasn't a 5. If this was a 7, it would be really good. But it's still pretty decent. So we are keeping this. Sadly, we can't really do everything we want, but we can do quite a bit. So yeah, let's go. It's a turn 1 Dranith. It's a turn 1 Dranith going last, but still, that's okay-ish. Yeah, let's go.
Alrighty, let's start the game by drawing a card. That's a good one. Alright, we'll start off by playing a Scalding Tarn. We will play a Mana Crypt. We will tap it for a Mana Vault with 2 colorless floating. We'll play a Mox Opal. We will crack our Scalding Tarn for a Underground Sea. And then we will tap for a blue, a red, and our Mana Vault to cast Crom. And attack Pontus for 4.
No blocks, take 4.
And with that, I will pass the turn.
I'm gonna draw a card for turn. You put an island into play, so Taiga, tap Taiga, Carpet. Then we're gonna go to the second main phase and we're gonna generate a white mana from the Carpet. We're then gonna play a Mox Diamond, pitching a Scalding Tarn to it. Tap this for blue and cast Laviniasaurus Renegade. Now I've cast 2 spells, so Crom gets to draw a card. But here, I pass the turn.
Sweet. Take my turn. Draw a card for turn. Bayou. Copying Mons. Playing Carpet of Flowers. Move to second main phase, making a blue, and I would like to cast this preordained resolves. Let's scry 2, then draw a card.
That is your second spell for turn, so I will draw a card.
And I am going to scry those 2 to the bottom and then draw a card. All right, I've got 6 cards in hand. I'll pass turn.
Take my turn. Land for turn will be a command tower. I'll tap it for a mana vault, and then I'll pass turn.
Alrighty, go to my turn. I have 2 upkeep triggers with I lose life off Mana Vault, and I'm going to roll for Mana Crypt. Flipped heads, so I take no damage. And now I will draw my card for turn. Lavinia is in play, so that's annoying.
You're welcome.
Okay, luckily Lavinia doesn't affect creatures, so we can put Tymna in play. Alright, Pontus, I'm going to boop you for 4 again. And in main phase 2, I will lose a life and draw a card. We'll play Exotic Orchard as land for turn, and we will pass with 7 cards in hand.
Untap and draw a card. This is going great. I mean, we're having a lot of options here now. Bloom Tender is an amazing card for Sisay. I don't actually need Bloom Tender though. We're already on Dockside with the Wish Claw, and I'm like looking around the board state. Dockside is already making 5. With my Wish Claw, that will be 6. I don't want to put the Wish Claw into play now. I rather put... The alternatives are basically Sisay, Bloom Tender, or Wish Claw. We could put Bloom Tender into play, but I don't actually have enough colors in a variation to activate Bloom Tender and win the game here. We're getting there kind of soon, but I think the safer play is to actually play Sisay and then Wishclaw Talisman to go for the win next turn. So I'm gonna activate my Carpet of Flowers, generating a white mana, put this land into play, and 1, 2, 3 total to cast my commander Sisay, Weatherlight Captain. As much as I would love to punch Pontus. No wait, Jordan! Jordan is on Adnos, but Jordan has Tymna in play, not gonna attack her. And Najeela Sheldon did not play Adnos, so Pontus, take 2! I think Tymna might block. And then I pass.
Untap and take my turn. Well, that is interesting. So we've got something interesting here. So I'm going to go ahead and put Vertic Catacombs into play and tap it to pay a life to go fetch up a land. Okay, nabbing a tropical island. Okay, first I am going to tap Bayou for black, playing Dark Ritual. It resolves. I'll make 3 black. Then with Carpet of Flowers, I'm going to make a red, and I will cast Najeela. All right, and with the 1 black left over, I will use that to play Soul Ring, and that will be my second spell for the turn, so Crom can draw a card.
I'm going to respond to the Soul Ring. Also, first of all, thank you for letting me draw a card. And then second of all, I'm going to mental misstep the Soul Ring.
Jordan, I thought Canadians were nice, man. What are you doing to me? All right. So Soul Ring is countered. I've got 1 land up. I'll pass turn.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be this Ancient Tomb. I will tap it to take 2 to cast a Talisman of Hierarchy. Then we're going to play a way too late Draneth. And with Draneth in play, I'll pass the turn.
This is a really sad outcome. I mean, turn order really... Yeah, everyone has been able to get their commanders into play already. That turn order messed it up for you, I think, sadly.
Upkeep, I will lose a life off Mana Vault, and I will roll for Crypt. It is heads, so I take no damage, and I will draw a card. Interesting. Alright, moving to combat, I will attack Pontus for 4, and I will attack Rhetoric for 2.
No blocks.
No blocks, take 4 more.
Alrighty, I will gain 2 off Tymna, but I will pay 2 life right away in my main phase 2 to draw 2 cards. Yeah, I'll tap Exotic Torture for a white, Mox Opal for a white, and I'll cast a Grand Abolisher. And with that, I will pass the turn.
Terrifying, not gonna lie. Untap and draw a card. So we are sitting with a win potential in hand. Cast Wishclaw, activate Wishclaw, send it away, find Dockside, cast Dockside, generate 7 treasures, and we have 1 mana left in the production, so we have the total of 8. To activate Sisay, we gain Teferi, we bounce Dockside back to our hand, recast Dockside, and then we should be able to do... We actually don't have it because Sisay is only a 4/4, but still Dockside is pretty good here. The question though is interaction. Jordan is sitting with a big grip. I don't want to put Wishclaw into play and pass the turn with it. First thing first on this main phase, I'm gonna activate and use Carpet of Flowers to generate a form of cool rainbow mana. Play this Shadowblood Ridge and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in all different 5 rainbow colors. Sisay's ability Resolve. I'm gonna find Isika, God of the Tree, and with her in play, my 2 legendaries can actually tap 4 mana. So green and green, and I will tap out and cast a Bloom Tender. And from here I pass the turn.
Okay, drew a card per turn. I will go ahead and ignore Carpet Flowers for the first main. I'm going to put Forbidden Orchard into play, and I'm going to move to combat. To counter attackers, I'm going to send Najeela and the warrior made from it at Pontus.
I'll block the warrior with Draneth.
I didn't even have to make the warrior because it's already killed. So with that, I got 4 cards in hand, 3 mana up. I will pass turn.
Go to my turn. So we're dead to Mons on board and probably Jordan in hand. So I think this is our highest survival play, which is very sad. Land for turn will be Exotic Orchard. I'll tap Mana Vault to cast a Relic of Legends. I will tap Ancient Tomb, take damage, have 1 mana floating, to cast a Demonic Tutor.
That is very annoying. I'm guessing Oppo Agent. I'm passing on this.
Okay, Pontus, like, I know that you're going to, I don't know what you're going to find with Demonic Tutor, actually, but I will say I can't do anything about Grand Abolisher. So if you're interested in doing something about that, I can try to deal with Sisay. There are things I think I could do. I'm not sure what else he has in his hand, though.
But can you deal with Jordan if the Abolisher is gone? Because he still, like, if he has to win, he still has to win.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in order, yeah. I mean, if somebody's going to try to win, I should be able to stop them. I just can't get rid of Grand Abolisher. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so in my desperation to survive, I forgot about the fact that I have a win here. I can just find Altar of Dementia, cast Dargo, and start looping. Because I have 3 things to sack to Dargo to make him cost 1, and I have Relic of Legends, which makes the mana. Rhetoric sounds unsure if he has interaction, so I'm not sure if it's free to just go for it. Jordan has kept blue-black up, so there's no silence. There's no oppo because Sisay resolved and the Demonic Tutor is resolving. So unless he has free interaction as well as 1 mana interaction, which he might have with a mana represented, it has to be free interaction to counter the Altar of Dementia. Mons doesn't have counters, probably, I assume. So it's just Rhetoric that's unsure. So I could just try to force here, or I just find Dam, which was my original plan, because I used Overload Dam. Overload Dam still has CMC 2, so Lavinia doesn't counter it. So I think either card I cast is actually getting countered, because I think Jordan is countering a board wipe because he has Abolisher, and I think the Altar of Dementia is countered as well, if they can, of course. So I feel in that scenario, the play where I can win the game is the play I should do, so I will be finding an Altar of Dementia with this Demonic Tutor. And if it gets stopped, it gets stopped, and then we're dead, but we were dead anyways, so yeah. Yeah, let's see if they counter this. I will use my colorless floating and tap Talisman for another colorless to cast a Altar of Dementia. Altar of Dementia resolves. I will tap Relic of Legends for red, sacrifice 3 things to cast a Dargo.
In response to Dargo being cast, I'm going to Chain of Vapor your Relic.
Chain of Vapor will bounce my Relic, and I will sacrifice my command tower to target the Grand Abolisher with the copy.
Alright, I will continue the chain. I'm going to sacrifice my Underground Sea to bounce Lavinia.
I'm going to respond by paying 2 life and mental misstep the Chain of Vapor targeting my Lavinia. So my Chain of Vapor will stop... No, my mental misstep will stop the Chain of Vapor.
Dargo resolves, and I will pass turn.
Alright, go to my turn. I'll lose life off Mana Vault, and I'll flip for Crypt. Heads! It's been a good Crypt this game. I will draw a card. Alright, it is a land, which is what we needed. Alright, we need better land than Gemstone Caverns, so we are going to go to combat. I will attack Ons with Crom and Rhetoric with Tymna.
No blocks, take 2.
No blocks.
Main phase 2, I will pay 2 life and draw 2 cards. Okay, I'm going to tap Mox Opal for a black and cast Culling the Weak on my Chrome. I'm going to tap Mana Crypt for a colorless, or 2 colorless. I'm going to spend a colorless and a black to cast Diabolic Intent on my Tymna. Alright, I'm going to tap Exotic Orchard for a red and tap Gemstones for a colorless. Or I guess I don't need to yet. I'll spend the colorless, the Mana Crypt, to cast a Dockside.
I will respond by delaying your Dockside.
I cannot interact with delay, so my Dockside is delayed. I will pass the turn.
Before you begin your turn, Mons, I will also tap Forbidden Orchard, and I'll give Jordan a Spirit. I will Red Blast Lavinia.
Lavinia is dead. I will go to my turn and draw a card. Carpet Flowers is gonna make 1 red from Rhetoric's Tropical Island. And then I'm using this to cast a Wishclaw Talisman.
I will respond with Force Negation, pitching Flusterstorm.
I cannot respond to that, Wishclaw is countered. Here I'm gonna pass the turn. Well, actually first we're gonna punch Rhetoric for free 4 damage.
No blocks. All right, take my turn. All right, carpet of flowers. I will make. Let's make green. Land for turn will be Savannah with our green floating, as well as Savannah and Tropical Island and Bayou. I'm going to play Nature's Will. Okay, I'll move to combat. I am going to attack Jordan with Najeela and the warrior that's created as well. He blocks the word. I get to untap. All right, in response to the trigger, I'm going to tap Forbidden Orchard, give it to Mons to untap my lands. Okay, I'll tap all this again to go for another combat step and tap my creatures. I will go to combat again, once again attacking Jordan, making a warrior as well. And in response to that, I'll untap my lands and pass turn.
Take my turn. Oh, okay. I will have 1 colorless floating, cast a breach. Breach resolves. I'll sack Dargo to mill 7.
All right, I'll respond. I'm going to tap Bayou and Tropical Island to interdict, I think that's what it's called, your artifact.
So you basically trick bind my alternate dimension, which means I am screwed. So I will just use my colorless floating, cast the mana vault, and pass.
So I'm going to draw for turn. 7 mana confluence. I will play my land and pass the turn.
In your end step, Jordan, I'm going to activate my Sisay. I will find a cultist of the absolute. I will go to my turn and first thing first untap everything that I have. Then Cultist of the Absolute goes to the stack and I'm forced to sacrifice something. However, before I do that, I'm going to activate Sisay.
Alright, I'll tap Mox Opal and Gemstone Caverns into Psychrift, the enchantment.
My enchantment goes back to my hand, sadly. I'm going to find a Kinnan with my Sisay activation. So strangely we were actually interacted with, and Cultist of the Absolute kind of backfires at us here, because the ability will still try to resolve, forcing me to sacrifice a creature. And in response to that I'm doing things. However, I can tap Bloom Tender for Bunt, and then Sisay for either black or red. However, I can't gain both black and red, so I can't make a Sisay activation here. So from this point I have to sacrifice Esika, and then draw a card for turn, and then I have Carpet, Sisay, and Bloom Tender. And now that the Esika is gone, I can't tap Sisay anymore. If I sacrifice anything different, like the Bloom Tender, I can't win. If I sacrifice Kinnan, Sisay is too small and I lose the blue, which means that Bloom Tender won't generate blue anymore. So I'm going to sacrifice Esika, like I said, and cast this Imperial Seal with the mana from Carpet of Flowers. I will find this card and put that on top of my library, and then I will pass the turn.
I will draw a card for turn. I am going to put in Marsh Flats into play. Tap it, paying a life. I will put a Badlands into play. Shuffle. I'd like to move to combat.
Mana Crypt and Exotic Orchard to cast Tainted Pact. Toxic Deluge, Badlands, Watery Grave, Final Fortune, Land's Eye Diamond, Flooded Strand, Gamble, Offer, Swords. Swords will do it. I'll tap my Mana Confluence for white, and I will Swords to Plowshares Najeela.
Okay, I gain 3 life. No response to that. I'm going to recast Najeela by tapping all my lands, and with that I pass turn.
Go to my turn. I will tap Mana Vault for a Relic of Legends. I will tap 3, take 2 damage to cast a Tymna. Then I will pass turn.
For my turn, lose a life off Mana Crypt, or Mana Vault, and roll for Mana Crypt. A tail, so I take 3. Draw my card for turn, which is a land. Play City of Brass. I'll tap Mana Crypt for 2 colorless. I'll tap Exotic Orchard and Mana Confluence for a black and a blue. I'm going to cast Mnemonic Betrayal. Okay, so I'm going to tap my City of Brass and the colorless I have from Mana Crypt left over to cast Pontus's Underworld Breach. And I'll tap Gemstone Caverns and Mox Opal to cast Demonic Tutor from Pontus's graveyard. I exiled my Lion's Eye Diamond, so instead I'm going to find Lotus Petal. I will sack Lotus Petal. Okay, so I'll keep looping Underworld Breach, Lotus Petal, and Brain Freeze until I find my Thassa's Oracle, and then I will cast Thassa's Oracle and win the game in everybody's favorite fashion.
So, game over. Jordan sadly had to run some errands, but we're here, post-game talks. I mean, Jordan, he came, he won, he left.
Yeah, that game was all about stopping each other from winning over and over. Like, you were close, Mons. Jordan was. Pontus was, until some card called Interdict, right, Pontus? We both didn't really know what that did until...
Yeah, I've never seen that card in my life. I've seen Trickbind, like Trickbind and Stifle would both blow me out just as hard.
Interdict draws a card though, so it's a cantrip.
Yeah, exactly. It's funnier when you have never seen the card that stops you. But yeah, my whole game plan was very interrupted by just going last. I had a turn 1 Dranith, but then there was a Lavinia before it, so I couldn't do the turn 1 play. Then on top of that, when I got to Dranith turn 2, every commander was in place, so I basically shut down Breach. So I fell behind so fast. I had some lucky draws, but someone had to interdict.
I think everyone was like so close to win this game from various several points. I could win the game on turn 3. I was sitting there thinking, they probably have interaction, and then I'm just passing a Wish Claw away to someone, so better not. And I guess I was correct on that. But then we had this super circle of like everyone just trying to go for it over and over again. It gets really interesting, you know, how you try to solve problems.
To be fair though, it didn't help that we had time pressure. I think that made the game a bit more messy than it could have been. But it was still pretty clean for how stressed we were at points.
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, Jordan had to actually go. It was like, okay, you need to go soon. We need to play faster. And I like playing fast. I mean, that kind of puts you on a different kind of pressure, so to say. So for those who didn't catch it, we were like trying to play as fast as we could to make sure we finished the game in time.
Yeah. I mean, a good example of what happens in tournaments, right? I've never played in a cEDH tournament, but I imagine that if you're on that clock, you have to think kind of on your feet. And that's kind of a little hard for me. You know, I didn't do the chess clocks things with you guys at all. I know you were experimenting with, but to have to think quickly and think through lines and such without any help or, you know, drawing from your memory, it can be pretty challenging. So I think that in the interest of time, there was a point when I tapped Forbidden Orchard and gave it to Jordan, and now I think, in hindsight, maybe I should have given it to you, Mons, or somebody else. You know, there's no guarantee that would have helped me in the end, but still, you know, when you're thinking of that, like those quick seconds have consequences.
You are absolutely right. I mean, most of these close to all games we actually play here, we have a lot of time to think. So we're making sure we play like smart decisions and such. You don't see that in these editings, but these games actually take an enormous amount of time to actually play because we usually sit and think so much. But in this case, this game was played much faster, which yeah, I misplayed too. I think I should have done a little bit different things with instead of Cultists of the Absolute, I could have gone for a safer route actually.
Anyways, everyone, GG's, and we'll see you in the next video.